Hey everyone, Chris Myers, President of Chicago Young Republicans, with you today with very special guest, Darlene Senger, Illinois Comptroller candidate. So Darlene, thanks so much for being out.
Yeah, thank you. Beautiful day today. Thanks
Appreciate
for having
you.
us. Yeah.
So we're going to go through and get a chance to know Darlene, what she's doing in the state, how she's thinking about the Comptroller office. But before we get into that, Darlene, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, where are you from, where you live, and kind of what brought you to Illinois and where you are today?
Yeah, I'm basically from Indiana, Hammond, Indiana, actually, and went to Purdue. I'm a numbers person, finance degree from Purdue, MBA from DePaul. Live out in Naperville, raised my family there. Did a couple things, which I'm glad to have done. I got involved with high taxes, property taxes there in our school district. Was on their city council, and then did something I'm really proud of. In 2008, I ran for state rep. It was an open seat, and this was the year Obama's on the ballot, and this was also the year that Madigan said, hey, I'm going to get all the seats in the House for me because I can, and I actually beat him. So glad for that.
We need more wins against him.
We need more wins against Madigan, and we can do it. So ran for a Congress in 2014, lost that. That was against Foster. It was redistricted for a Democrat. And then worked for 2 years for the Workers' Compensation Commission. As their CFO, and my professional background, my private background is in pension consulting. So I did a lot of work in the pension problem in the state.
Nice, that's great. So as you're thinking about Comptroller now, what is it about this race? Why is this the right time for you to run?
This year in particular, it's very, very important to get Republicans elected. Both the statewide governor and downstate ballots. This is the year that is going to determine who writes the map for the upcoming 12 years, actually. So it's very important that we elect the right people. And, right now we were robbed of this comptroller seat. Judy Bartopinko won it 4 years ago. Leslie Munger was supposed to have a 4-year term, but the Democrats said, no, 2 years, you have to have a special election. And of course, there's more Democrats in Illinois, and she lost it. So we were robbed it, and we've got someone in there now that is controlled by Madigan, and need to get that back.
Got it. Yeah, I think there's quite a few things that we can do here. So as you're thinking about running and thinking about what you can achieve when we help get you elected, what are 2 to 3 things that you want to see progress on when we get you into office?
There's a couple things that I'd like to see done. Number one is smaller government. We can merge the treasurer and comptroller's office. We do not need the two, and we can save close to $12 to $14 million by doing so. The other thing, there is no real transparency in that office, even though Mendoza says there is. There's a lot of things that we can do to better get financial systems in place to have agencies communicate really like they should, all one language, and then get rid of the red tape that's going on in there. I mean,
there's red tape in Illinois government?
In Illinois government, and the head count, we don't need that many people in the comptroller office. This is the CFO for the state. They write the checks. Why do you need 257 people?
Isn't she withholding payment from a whole bunch of companies anyways? Don't we have like a massive backlog of bills?
You know what? Here's how we have massive backlogs of bills is that Mendoza, she's voted yes for every tax hike that there is, and then she was in the General Assembly with me, and then she voted to spend more than what we bring in revenue. So yeah, we have a backlog of bills because the Democrats always spend more. They're by consolidating, by basically streamlining a lot of our agencies, particularly the governors and the comptrollers and the treasurer's office, we can save money and reduce those bills.
How about a revenue estimate for the state too? Wouldn't that be a good idea?
We never, this is not even really a true budget. It's more a thing of how much can we tax, how much can we spend, and it's not really a plan for how we need to move Illinois to the future and the good policies we need to do to take it to the future. And I've got some really good ideas on how we can move forward in a good way.
It's funny you mentioned the budget. I was talking to somebody, and I think the Thompson Center has been calculated 2 or 3 times in the last budget that we're planning to sell it every year. So I don't know how many more times Democrats plan to sell the Thompson Center, but last I checked, you can only sell something once.
They put it in the budget as a one-time occurring. There's no question at all. But the bottom line is why haven't we sold it? I mean, that place needs to go, and it's, if you've been in there, it's pretty bad. So it's a lot of wasted space.
So as you're thinking about your experience on the campaign trail, what's something fun that you've experienced along the way?
one of the things, well, one thing I've done a lot of, we've been traveling throughout the state, particularly with the Lincoln Day dinners. So it's been fun traveling down south. It's really fun to see Southern Illinois.
Yep.
The other thing that's been very good is this is bicentennial year for the state. So I've been able firsthand to see places I've never been before. Vandalia and some of the really cool things Illinois has to offer.
Yep.
And boy, they've got some really good chicken down there in Southern Illinois.
That's great. You also mentioned you had a good story about being down with the governor's mansion.
Yeah,
And
they're
redoing that with private funds. You hear that, folks?
Oh, my
Private funds.
goodness. Yeah, it was. When I was a state rep, I saw how that building was deteriorating, and it was really a shame. The grounds were at one time very beautiful. There were a lot of leaks. There were a lot of damage in the building.
Yep.
Private funds raised to reopen it for the bicentennial year. So I was there for the grand reopening. And oh my gosh, some people were in tears. I mean, it takes your breath away. It is done so beautifully. It's done all with private funds. The artwork is all Illinois. The history they put now in there. They call it the People's House. And it is the People's House. And I'm so proud to have been part of that, part of the grand reopening.
Because there is a lot of great heritage in the state and a lot of history.
Yes.
I find it really funny that Madigan and his cronies bust a bunch of people in, probably paid them too, so they got a nice salary to come in and pretend to protest for the day.
Yeah.
A private reinvestment in the Illinois governor's mansion. Crazy.
Yeah, that was so sad, because that was such a grand, it was just a really nice thing to share with everyone.
Yep.
This is the people of Illinois. It wasn't even the taxpayer, it was everyone. The mayor was there from Springfield saying, this is so great for my community. And to have someone disrupt it, it was sad. I mean, shouldn't have been that way. Yep.
Totally. So as you're out on the campaign trail, tell us a fun story. Somebody you met or something fun, some good experience you had meeting the great people of the state of Illinois.
I'm trying to think what a couple of the fun things we've done. We've had some really good. One of the fun stories we had is we were in Southern Illinois, and it was a women's club meeting, and this was a fun thing. They dressed with the hats and everything, so we walked in there, and it was just one of those things where afternoon, and it's a tea, and everybody had their hats, and the thing that I found everywhere, actually, that I've been, there's engagement, there's excitement. These women were pumped up. They were Republicans. They were ready to get out there. They were ready to get people elected. They had a big group in the afternoon, and they were pumped up. And I've seen that everywhere I've gone. Republicans are fired up. They're fired up. They're charged. There's energy, and the energy is real. Unlike some of the energy I've seen in some of these protests, where I know people are paid to show up to protest.
Democrats don't do that, do they?
Yes, they do. I know that firsthand, being in the State House. And there are many times you have people who don't even know why they're protesting. But their Republicans are engaged, they're active, and they're for real. They're pumped up, and their energy is there, and that's been exciting.
That's great.
It's really exciting. A couple things to share with everyone that I've learned firsthand through the whole thing, and this is why I feel good about this election coming up. I was elected in 2008, as I said. I beat Madigan, and at that day we were trying to tell the story about how Madigan's the real problem in the state, and he is the real problem in the state. And today, everyone understands that. I mean, the Democrats, Independents, and Republicans all understand Madigan is the problem. That word is out. And I give Ronner a lot of credit for getting that word out. And I find that very empowering. The opponent I'm running against, Mendoza, she calls Madigan her mentor. And when you tie one to Madigan, they go down 9 points. That's how much people understand that Madigan is the problem. The other thing that's very encouraging also, and I'm really glad to see this change in the state, it's historic, is that now with the Janus case done, we have public employees have the option to choose whether or not they want to be in a union or not. And I find that's to me is very, very exciting. Major change for the state of Illinois. Finally unlock those who believe in some of the good policies that we're trying to put in place to basically solve problems in the state. They're not chained to unions now. And what we have found with other right-to-work states is that the Democrat participation drops 3 to 5%. and that's going to be a real big help for us here.
Yep.
You know, I am paying taxes to pay for my public employees, which I love.
Yep.
And then they are paying union dues that they have to mandate
Mandatory.
on their paycheck to beat me up.
Right.
I mean, that's nuttiness. Yes. So that changed. A couple of really good things have happened. You know, people are engaged. They get the fact that Madigan's the problem.
Yep.
And they're willing to stand up and do something.
I like to remind our viewers that Madigan has been in office longer than most of our core demographic CYR members have been alive.
Yep.
So, you know, if there's a problem in the state, it's the fact that somebody's been around longer than almost all of us. So, you know, where's the problem come from, folks? You know, it's a pretty easy one. But what we need to remember is that we're not going to beat Madigan in his district. We need to beat him in all of the other districts because he's done so much in his district that he's got it wrapped around his finger. So we need to help these House candidates get elected. We need to help people like Darlene get elected in order to take the Madigan machine down. So Darlene, as we wrap up today, I appreciate you coming out. What one message do you want to leave with voters, with family, with friends, with people who are going to be watching this video? And then how can we get involved to support you? Because we need to get you in office.
You know what? Yep, you guys do need to get me in office. We need to pay attention. Pay attention, get out, talk to your friends, tell the stories, keep doing the work you're doing. Don't be discouraged.
Yep.
You know, don't be discouraged. Too many people say, I can't do anything, I'm not going to make a change. Chicago's the way it is, everything's bad, I can't do anything. No, that's not the case. You can make a difference. Get out there and take action. Get involved. Join Young Republicans.
Yeah.
I mean, join your precinct, you know, see what's happening. It's major changes are coming underway, no question.
What's the way that we can get together with you? Is it your website is...
My website's pretty simple.
Okay.
It's Senger, DarleneSenger.com.
Okay.
Basically, so that's a way to look at that. And
Yep.
and yeah, my Facebook is out there too. So take a look at the Twitter, the Facebook. Follow. It's fun to follow what we've been doing. And yep, let's get involved.
And I can tell you firsthand, following all of Darlene's campaign accounts, she's been hitting the road hard, getting to meet the voters of the state. So, Darlene, thanks so much for coming out to join me today.
Good.
Really appreciate your time. So, this is Chris Myers, wrap up another segment with our candidates here. Really appreciate the opportunity and look forward again to talk to you next time.
Good.
Signing out. Thank you.
Thank you.